Good morning. This is Coffee with Bob, and I'm very glad to be here with you this morning. This is a light switch, and until recently, the light switch in our hall bathroom was broken. Well, it wasn't completely broken. You just had to kind of work with it a little bit. You had to move the switch and kind of finagle it a bit, and then the lights would turn on, or kind of adjust it and the lights could turn off. Now, I'm embarrassed to say how long it was that way, but I had concerns about fixing it because it involved electricity, and I certainly didn't want to get electrocuted by fixing it, and I didn't want to start a house fire, and besides, it worked, sort of. And so I kind of ignored the issue. I worked around it, and I worked with what I had and just kept messing with it. I don't know what spurred me, but just a few weeks ago, I started researching how to replace a light switch online. I watched different how-to videos on YouTube. I read different articles. I downloaded some manuals. And this past weekend, I went to Lowe's, purchased a replacement switch and the replacement cover, and came back and I set to work. Got all my tools laid out. I went out in the garage and I turned off the electricity to that circuit and very carefully started to take out the old switch. And I made sure to note which wires went to which place on the switch. There were only 3 connections, but I took pictures to make sure I was following step by step and got that old one out and replaced it with the new. Well, I put it all back, and it seemed so straightforward that it was hard for me to believe that it was that straightforward. And so I put the cover back on because I thought that might shield me if anything went wrong for just a second. And so I went back out to the garage. I flipped the switch back on to turn on the electricity, and I went back into the hall bathroom and very cautiously flipped the switch, and the lights came on just like magic. It worked perfectly. So perfectly. I was really proud of myself for replacing it, but there's also this feeling of, why didn't I do this a lot sooner? Sometimes in our lives, we have things that are broken. Maybe not completely broken, but things that aren't working completely properly, and so we kind of work around them. We kind of adjust or finagle or finesse around them, and we ignore the issue. And we let it go on and on and on because we're deep down inside, we're concerned about what it might take to fix it. What are the problems we might encounter? What are the problems we might bring to the forefront if we address that issue? But that issue will never go away and will probably get worse until we address it. Maybe you have financial issues in your life. Maybe you have health issues. Maybe it's a relationship. Simply working around it won't fix it. Ignoring it won't make it better. You might be worried about what fixing it might entail. But to simply not address it is denying yourself a better life. You may have to go through some research and some study and some times where you're learning more about yourself and about the situation, but it's better to address it. And it's probably an easier fix than you realize. The sooner you address it, it certainly is. The longer you wait, it will become more involved. Don't be afraid to address the things that are broken in your life. God will be with you and help you address it. It's probably easier than you imagined. Have a great day.